Hi everybody, it's Liz from Zuniberry Designs, and today I'm going to walk through my new knitting journal, perfect for beginners or even if you've been knitting for a while. It's just a nice memory keepsake to have of all of your projects, who you've given them to, what kind of yarns you've purchased, and etc. Now, before you leave me a comment, I know there's Ravelry. I'm on Ravelry as well, and I know that that's a place where you can put your projects. But for me, I wanted something that was a little bit more personal, something that I could keep in the long term for myself and put way more notes in it, and I wanted it to be fun. So this is the planner. This is the cover of the knitting journal, and if you're familiar with any of my journals, then you will know that I have a lot of hidden links to get you from place to place. Now, I like to keep it simple, so for me, this journal has everything that I need and nothing that I don't. I know that I could have put in a lot of things like, let's say, wash care for different types of fibers or types of fibers and all of these information sheets. But you know what? Google is our friend, and it's just really easy. If we don't know something, we can take a look at Google to find out that information. So this is simply just a project, a place to put what you're knitting, what yarn you've used, your notes, the patterns, and so forth. So we're going to click on the cover, and that's going to open up our planner beautifully. And on the right hand side, we have our index that leads us to the pages that we want to get to. And on the left hand side, it's blank. And I kind of purposely left it blank for you to customize with your own stickers and however you want it to look to make it personal for you. Okay, so let's get started. We have 64 project pages for you to use. Now, I personally don't know if I can make 64 knitted projects in 1 year, but you might be able to do that. So we're going to go to projects. I'm going to start from the bottom up actually and end with the project pages. There's extra pages in here that you can copy and paste and put right behind your project page if you will need them. So for example, there's a square grid paper for you, and the little house at the top navigates back to your index. There's a dot grid paper, which is one of my favorite types of papers to use, and just a blank paper. And then we have an inspiration board, and that's basically all that I've given you other than your project pages, because I do like to scroll through Ravelry, and I like to scroll through Etsy and Instagram and all of these and social media posts and see what people are creating. And some of those creations I might want to recreate. So I've given myself a little inspiration board. We also have a sticker blanks. It comes blank where it says my stickers, but I've left it blank because attached to this planner in its own little file are individually cropped PNG files that you're going to put into your knitting planner on your sticker page, like I have done right here. There are sticky notes in 5 different colors. There's also the square sticky notes in 5 different colors, and some things that will go on top of your sticky notes if you so need them. For example, I have a little thing that I've created with additional, if you're using additional yarns, you can add this as a sticky note onto your page. Sometimes people do a lot of color work, so they may be using more than one color of yarn. For socks, you might be using more than one color of yarn. There's also a row counter. You can use it on its own, or you can put it on top of a sticky and place it into your pattern. Now, I like to use this a lot actually. I don't have a mechanical row counter at home, but I'm always using my patterns. I need to follow a pattern for what I'm creating. And so I just add that on top of my pattern, and I will just use my iPad and check it off as I go through the rows. And there are some really cute stickers like finished object, and this one says weave in the ends, current project, whip, sock knitter at work, checking gauge, a place where you can write down your gauge. It's a knit along, and UFO. Currently inactive is what it says. So there's a few things in here for you to use at your fingertips in your project planner. So on every single page, the left-hand side closes your book for you. And what I've done in addition, because I felt I wanted to get to my stickers quickly instead of having to come to the index, is on the right-hand side, if you tap on that, it takes you directly to your stickers. Okay, so now let's take a look at our project pages. These are projects 1 to 32, and on the next page are projects 33 to 64. So if I tap on that, it will take you to project number 33. And this is what your project page looks like. You start off at the top with a picture of the pattern and all of the information about the pattern, the name, the creator. Did I get this pattern for free, or did I purchase it from where? The date and how much did it cost. And usually on your pattern, it will tell you the supplies you require. So I've attached this to your project page as well. The yarn that you might need, the needles, anything else, and the gauge that is required to make this pattern fit for that size. I've also put a little section right here that's called pattern attached, yes or no. And I really wanted to have my pattern stay with my projects. So for example, I'm actually going to navigate back to projects 1 to 32. And I'm currently working on, so I'm using my little stickers, as you can see here, as indicators of what's going on with these patterns. And I can move them over and see what pattern I'm doing. And so this one is my current project. So I'm going to tap on that. And I have a 10. This is the, if you are a knitter and you knit socks, then you will know, the vanilla sock. And this is by Kristen Lair. And this is called My Favorite Sock. And I've attached her pattern. And what that means is that if I scroll once over, her pattern is now right behind that project page. And in GoodNotes and Noteshelf, you're able to download I'm working in Noteshelf, so I could just press the plus button and select import document. And I believe it's a little different looking in GoodNotes, but you can import your document, and the document always shows up right after the page that you are working on. So now for every single project, if I have a pattern, I can check off yes and upload that pattern to show up right after the project that I'm working on, and it is there. If I scroll through the whole pattern, it will get me to project number 5. However, you don't have to scroll to get to your next project, because all of the projects at the top are hyperlinked back to where they belong, and you can easily go to another project without having to scroll through. So let's just take a look further on this page. So after we've done what the pattern is and the supplies and whether the pattern is attached or not, we're going to get our information about the yarn that we purchased for this pattern. Now in this section, you have a lot of detail with the yarn, because I do like detail of what yarn I'm purchasing, the name of the yarn or the company name of the yarn, the content of the fibers, the colorway, how many grams that skein or ball is, and yards, where it's made, the instructions for that yarn, and where it's purchased, the date, the cost, and how many skeins or slash balls that you purchased for this project. And so yes, again, I was saying that there are people who do color work, more than one yarn they're purchasing for a project. So what I have done is I've created, that sticky note that you saw that you can put onto a back the sticky note and place it into your planner over here if you want to, or you can copy and paste a blank page and put it after your planner right here with all of the sticky notes of the colors of your yarns. So if you are using more than one yarn, don't fear, I've got you covered with that sticky note. On the right hand side, we've got project details, the start date, the end date, created for, and then you can kind of check your progress. It's kind of a fun thing to do. They do that on Ravelry, and I thought I would implement that here. And here are some spots for your work if you want to take pictures along the way to see how you're doing, and any notes that you need to create for that project. So I'm just going to scroll back, because I think I've maybe made some more information on So here's another project that I haven't filled everything in yet, but I have attached the pattern, and it is right here. And I just use some of my stickers to say I'm finished. This is a finished object, and I will do some writing about the notes on my project. So there are some that I haven't filled in yet, but I'm in the process of doing so. Now, just start. My suggestion to you is just start where you are. Don't try and go back and fill in all of those projects. We are at December, where are we? November 30th, so we're close to the end of the year, so you might want to start this on the 1st of the year, or even the 1st of December, or whenever you want to start it. Just start where you are. This is where I am. This is what I've done so far, and it's just, I think, too time consuming to put in past projects. But just start right now where you are. Okay, let me see if there's anything else. Again, what's really nice about this, for example, I don't have the project there, is that I can put sticky notes right on top of here as well to kind of keep track of what I'm doing, or just say I left off over here. I really enjoy, as in this case, I am doing the heel flap for this particular pair of socks, and I just took my row counter and a background sticky note, put it in here, and as I've been knitting along, I've been checking this off really easily with my highlighter tool. So I just think it's just a fun and cute way to have a good memory. It's at your fingertips, it's personal, it's for you, and it's a good thing to keep track of what you're doing. I think that is about it, and I hope that you guys enjoy this new knitting journal. I hope that you have a lot of fun putting all of your details in there, and then over time looking back to see what you've accomplished. So enjoy, everybody. Happy knitting.